Hey folks, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today let's understand type 1 and type 2 errors. Okay, so in the last lecture we learned about what is confusion matrix. So it was related to that topic, so I tried to make this video. Okay, so let's understand what is type 1 and type 2 errors. So basically these errors are related to false positive and false negative rates. Okay, so type 1 and type 2 errors are concepts used in hypothesis testing. So this we will try to study in the next lecture. And binary classification models. So binary classification models are like 0, 1, true, false, yes or no, like that. Okay, and like those encountered in medical diagnostics, quality control and A/B testing. So these are the real life examples. Okay, so let's understand type 1 error here. Okay, so type 1 error occurs when we reject a true null hypothesis, that is we conclude there is an effect or difference when there isn't. Okay, so don't get confused with respect to this. I will explain you with the example. Okay, so example here is, suppose a medical test for a rare disease incorrectly identifies a healthy person as diseased. Okay, so this is termed as false positive or type 1 error. Okay, so in this case we are identifying a healthy person as diseased. Okay, so that is false positive. And in case of our example, okay, here false positive is 0, that is we have not identified anyone. Okay, so but if in case of these data points, okay, let me revise this. So there are data points in which the actual result is like 0 is fail and 1 is pass. So in case of false positive here, if the person is failed, okay, and the predicted result is 1, then it is termed as false positive here. Okay, but since in our case the false positive rate is 0, that means we have not identified incorrectly, although it has although the student has failed, our predicted result is also same, so no need to worry about this false positive. Okay, so coming back to this example, so again let me revise this. So suppose a medical test for a rare disease incorrectly identifies a healthy person as diseased. Okay, so if you are identifying healthy person as diseased, then it is known as false positive. Okay, and explanation is like type 1 errors are often associated with false alarms or false positives. They represent the risk of concluding that an effect or difference exists when it isn't, potentially leading to unnecessary actions or interventions. Okay, so like there is a risk if these errors occur. Okay, coming to type 2 error. So type 2 errors occurs when we fail to reject false null hypothesis. Okay, and let's understand with this example. So example here is, in case of medical context, a diagnostic test may fail to detect a disease in a person who is actually diseased. Okay, so basically a person who is actually diseased, we are identifying it as not diseased. Okay, so that is false negative. So in case of our example, if the person is passed here but we are saying it as failed, so this is false negative. So this has a lot of risk. Okay, so if the person is actually diseased and we are identifying it as not diseased, then the person might die, right? So type 2 error has also a negative impact. But in case of type 1 error, we incorrectly identify a healthy person as diseased. Okay, so a healthy person is as diseased after like what you can say, a checkup. He might get a negative response, so still he will live, right? So this doesn't have a lot of impact though, but it might have still, because this is also an error. Okay, so type 2 error is, I think it has a lot of impact on the result. Okay, so these also represent missed opportunities or false negatives. They occur when we fail to identify a real effect or difference, leading to potential consequences such as untreated disease or overlooked issues. Okay, so type 2 error it is. Okay, and importance and use is medical diagnostics. So type 1 and type 2 errors are crucial in evaluating the reliability of medical test. Balancing the risk of false positive and false negative is essential for accurate diagnosis. Okay, so quality control. Next is quality control. So in manufacturing process, type 1 and type 2 errors help assess the effectiveness of quality control measure, ensuring that defective products are accurately identified without rejecting too many good products. Okay, so these are the things. So in case of this quality control, like too many good products need not be rejected. So in that case you can use a false positive and false negative rates here. Okay, so to revise the things, type 1 error is basically identifying a healthy person or a good result as opposite case, that is he is diseased, and type 2 error is failing to identify a good thing and giving a false result. For example, if he is diseased but you are saying like he has no disease, okay, that is false negative. Okay, and in our case a false positive is like type 1 error. Yeah, false positive is 0 because we have not incorrectly identified anything here. But in case of false negative, even though person is passed here, we have incorrectly identified as failed. Okay, so that is false negative. Okay, this has a lot of impact. Though he is passed, we are saying he has failed, so this might lead to a career gap. Okay, like that. If you consider like a rare case scenario, if you are trying to build a matrix or model which gives you the identification of UPSC results toppers, and if he is a topper and if you are saying he is not, okay, your model is saying not, then, and worst case scenario, if he or she has the last attempt, then he is done for his life, right? So that's the case. So this is type 2 error, that is false negative, and false positive is like this. Okay, so hope you understood something from this video, like about type 1 and type 2 error. Okay, so type 1 error is false positive and type 2 error is false negative. So remember these things. Okay, so if you learned something about type 1 and type 2 errors, yeah, definitely I will come up with null hypothesis, what is it, and let's study that in deep. Okay, so but for understanding's sake, let's understand type 2 error as false negative and type 1 error as false positive. Okay, and consider these data points also to understand it. And in the beginning you might get confused, but definitely if you look into the data points and try to understand things, you will have the better idea. Okay, so hope you understood something from this video, and if you do hit the subscribe button. Until then, take care, bye bye.